Good morning to Ms. Norayu and Dr. Lim. So today I would like to present to you my final project, which is blockchain-based food supply chain traceability system. Alright, so basically this system will be implementing blockchain, and as well I have additional features which is adding the IoT to collect the data. Alright, so why do I implement blockchain? Okay, as we can see right here, we have 46% in financial services, they are implementing blockchain, and as well in the market, if you research, right, based on my research, there are lots of big companies like Intel and some stuff. They are actually working on the blockchain framework to make it like permission, not just public, because as we can see in Bitcoin, the first blockchain, right, mostly they are in public and they can publish in public. But these big companies, they are actually working on the blockchain framework to make it in permission or permissionless, which is the public, and as well to be private. So which means that there are three parts, just like in OOP, there are public, private, and protected. So in the blockchain part, there are permission, public, and private. Right? As long as you have a framework, blockchain framework, you can find like Hyperledger or maybe Ethereum. You can just implement it into your blockchain implementation. But one thing that we need to do is that, because blockchain is to secure the data, and inside all the blockchain, they will be generating the previous hash and the hash. Alright, so the part that the hashing algorithm, we need to know that Hyperledger I'm using, which is Hyperledger Fabric, and which is using a hash tree algorithm. So it is right now the newest hashing algorithm, and it is a standalone hashing algorithm, which is not the continuous or the upgrading from the hash tree. So it is quite good, and right now it's not been hacked yet. Yeah, but one thing is that it is quite heavy because it's new, right? So you need very advanced technologies to actually implement in these parts. Alright, since the blockchain is actually quite very heavy technology, so we actually need quite not like traditional database, right? You know what I mean? Okay, so right now we're going to 3 layers of phases. So what I mean like 3 layers of phases, because in this implementation, right, we have 3 layers of phases. So the one part, which is the IoT and the database, which is parts of to collecting all the data, which means that they are working on data collecting. Then once we collect all the data, then we'll save it in the traditional database. The traditional database, which is the part that owned by all the existing companies, which means that in the food supply chain, right, there are a lot of companies, and they will be having their own traditional database, and we can't tell them to, oh, you need to change all your database into blockchain. No, right? Because we cannot do that, because they have a lot of systems that are still using a traditional database, and maybe they want to just having a blockchain, then everything will be sum up and save it in the blockchain. So that is what we are doing, right? So which means that we are collecting all the existing all the data and existing data from the database. So then we will be summing up in the MongoDB, we're collecting and merge up in the MongoDB, then we save it in the MongoDB, then we only take it and save it into the blockchain. So the phase 2 will be in the blockchain implementation. So before that, I go into phase 2, I'll be talking about IoT. Okay, so in IoT, I'm using ESP32 and as well DHT22 for the temperature and humidity sensor. Alright, so this is the two that are very basic, that what I use. Right, so the part that the blockchain, right now I'll be moving into phase 2. Right, so the blockchain will be set up in localhost, which is the Hyperledger Fabric, and as well to use the Hyperledger Composite to actually assist the Hyperledger Fabric. Alright, so why I'm using Hyperledger Composite? Okay, in the website the high pressure composite is actually deprecated, but the problem is we would like to achieve the prototype, right? And the meantime, the FIP is quite short the time, and we are trying to use, and we can't actually study a lot of stuff in the meantime, and sometimes we need to shorten the time, and we use the GUI, which is a GUI, and to implement a blockchain, which is the hybrid composer. But right now, there are still the latest version is still in 2019, so which means that in the meantime, because before that, when I actually started in the part in giving the TOR, which is term of reference, I actually in my opinion, actually I would like to use a hybrid composer, but after that I saw that I changed to sawtooth, then I suddenly changed into hybrid back to composer, because one of sawtooth is in supply chain, not much of them are using, and not much of functioning they are implementing with hybrid sawtooth instead of fabric. But fabric is quite popular, and a lot of use cases in fabric. So I'm starting in fabric onto sawtooth. This is what I research, and I have been do all the research in the documentation. So you can actually refer to my documentations. Alright. So in user interface, which is the phase 3. Alright. In user interface, so this is the part where the user can actually track the whole supply chain, alright? So why the user need to actually track the supply chain? Because maybe some of the user might not be interested in these kinds of functionalities. One of the parts why we are using in an implementation is we are actually reusing the customer service workload. Alright. So because a lot of customers, when they buy the foods, right, sometimes it is actually contaminated, and the users might be going back to, once they buy, they can't see in the package what they are buying on food, and they open up, then the food is actually very disgusting, it's very contaminated. So basically they need to go back to the market and find customer service, and they can get a refund. They need to do a lot of steps, alright? So basically they can actually just take out, with these functionalities, they can actually just take out their smartphones, then they can straight away just scan the QR code, and once they scan, they can actually track the whole supply chains. Yeah, that's all they can done. And they can actually see the humidity and temperatures. If the humidity and temperatures is heightened in the graph, they can see, alright, which means that this food have some problems, or the logistics not doing good, alright. They can actually maybe choose the best food in the markets, in the shelf that they have, so they can scan each food that they actually feel like it is actually quite good for them, right? So this is the part that where they can do. Alright, before starting my demo on the phase 1, I would like to introduce to you my Arduino IoT, which is the ESP32 and as well the DHT22. This is a sensor which is collecting the temperature and as well the humidity, and this is the ESP32, which have the Wi-Fi built-in in it, and this is very cheap. So basically, sum up with this one set, there is only around 30 something, and with the USB plug to actually install the all the programs into ESP32. So it is very easy. You just download the Arduino IDE and you type your codes, then you install it, alright? So there is a Wi-Fi built-in, so you can actually, when you plug it, you start your IoT, right? It is straight away just, it will starting to try to connect the Wi-Fi, then your Arduino will be starting to working, right? So basically I have two sets of this, which is onto logistics, alright? So one set is for the first logistics, material logistics. Then another part which is the manufacturer logistics. Alright. So there is two sets of this. Alright. So right now I'll be starting on the IoT parts.
Okay, so right now I'll be talking about the IoT first. So this is the code for the IoT. I'll be having the server name, which is this PHP that is inside the my server that will be communicate with the database. Alright, so basically this IoT will be sending all the which is the humidity right here, getting from the DHT22 sensors, then send it from these parameters and as well the API key to the PHP. Then the PHP will be actually getting this information and save it into the database. So basically Arduino is actually a fix that they have, the first one, which is the initiate, which is the setup, and as well the loop. So after once the setup will be running once, and after that it will be keep on running the loop until you close the IoT. Alright, this is basically in the IoT parts. Okay, so right now I'll be going into the database first. Okay, let me open my file manager, let it run first because my internet got a bit laggy. So going into I have my customer logistic. The customer one is the old one, so I'm not using it anymore. And okay, let me open this. Alright, so the second one, which is the manufacturing, which is in the manufacturer factory, all their databases will be having all these tables, the information like customers, companies, or the retailers. Retailers is their company, customers. Customers. Alright, the company is the manufacturer company. Okay, so the product is the one that they make it from using these materials. Okay, this is material logistic. Right, the customer logistic and the material logistic is totally the same. So basically what they have is the driver informations and as well the lorry informations and all the shipments information. Right, so these are all for supply chain database. Okay, from the starting. Then this one that I wanted to show, which is that I mentioned just now, which is a PHP. Alright, we'll be having this PHP that communicating with the database. So the IoT will be sending all the data into this PHP. Right, let it look. Okay, so right here, as we can see, we have our API key. Okay, this is from hard coded, and this is getting from the API. I mean IoT. Yeah, from the IoT. Then it will check the API key. Alright. So whether is the API key correct or not, it will actually check. If the API key is wrong, then it will not be inserted. If not, then anyone can actually try to insert this PHP. It's not good. Alright. So basically, you need this API key to actually activate the to insert into this container condition. Alright. Okay. So right now I'll be starting with the IoT. Alright. As we can see right here just now, we have the IoT running, right? We have been plugging. Let it load for a while. Okay, so let's just go and check it out if it's right here. All the data just now that we run, right, the IoT, it is actually running. Alright, so basically the IoT information is inserted, and we can right now move on to the blockchain part. So I've run my this docker ps, which is the command. So every 1 second it will actually try to run this docker ps. Alright, then it will check actually all the containers. Then right here I have started my my fabric in 11 version. Alright, HLV 11 version. So after that run, once it run, I will try to create a pyramid cards, which is used to create the business network, which is the blockchain, right? So after that, I'll try to install the developed supply chain DNA file, which is the archive file. What we call is the compressed file, right? Which means that it is something like zip, but this is only for the supply chain, which is the Hyperledger Composer. So basically, if you want to install into the Hyperledger Composer, we need to actually archive these test files into the DNA file. Then we install into the composers. Then we start the network. Then only we can edit in the Hyperledger Composer. But if you don't want to use the Hyperledger Composer to edit any files, you can actually use the Visual Code to actually code it right here. Then you archive it, then you install and deploy it into the Hyperledger Composer. So there's two options for you to choose. But basically, I just tried to actually deploy the first file, which is the generated file. Then I try to download it from the Hyperledger Composer. Once I successfully edited, then I save it in my device, so I can actually try straight away just deploy it whenever I can. So basically, you can edit in Hyperledger Composer, then you download it, then just save it in your computer, right? So the files won't be disappear. If not that, you need to retype everything again, right? So once it starts, then it will show you it is start. Then right here, it will actually show that it is actually deployed. So right here, it will actually keep on running. You can see right here. Okay, I'll close this one. Okay, so right now I'm running the Composer Playground. Okay, it is right here, Composer Playground. So I have my product right here and the customers, right? I'll try to delete this. Okay, delete this file, and I delete another file. Okay, then this is the customers that I registered. I'll try to delete again. Then later on, I will try to register again. Alright, so these are all the transactions that we can see. So basically, we can add, remove, or update, add, remove, or update. All everything will be shown in this all transaction. Alright, so you can't run away actually. Even if you try to delete something, you cannot delete these transactions. Everything is safe in the blockchain. Alright, so right now I'll be deleting all the MongoDB data. Alright, so db info dot remove. So remove, basically we know we want to remove all, so we don't need to put any query inside it. So basically we just put is db.info.remove. So just put it blank, then you remove. So to remove right here. Then we put find. Then it's totally empty. Alright. So right now we check, and Hyperledger Composers is actually blank. And as well, we try to refresh right now for the tech foodie. Alright, go to console, then we check whether is it does it try to insert or not. Right, so a bit slow because my internet's a bit laggy. Alright, wait for a while. Okay, it shows that it's 500 internal errors. So actually, we are actually inserted maybe. So we try to check back. Yeah, it's actually inserted. Maybe we try it again. It's actually 500 internal error because once it's inserted, it can't be inserted unless the server maybe is down. Then you'll give back 300 or something, 500 as well. So it's actually inserted. Let's try again. So right here, we'll be showing up the success inserts to assets. Is it shows? Wait for a while. Okay, yeah, success, yeah, it's inserted. Alright, right here. Okay, So right now I'll be going back to our product, which is our hyperledger composer. Check back, yeah, it's totally inserted. So in the transaction we can see that just now we actually just inserted and actually remove again. Alright, right now then we add the assets again. Alright, so in the MongoDB, let's check it. Yeah, it's actually totally inserted completely. Okay, that's great. And right now we're moving on to registering one users to this dashboard. Alright, Derek, okay, at gmail.com. Okay, then register. So just leave it because this 500 is actually it cannot be, because we have the ID as primary key, right? We cannot duplicate inserted, so that's good for we have blockchain having a cannot duplicate, right? Hyperledger Composer is very good because they provide primary key like the table, but there is one foreign key as well. If you wanted to do, which means that like participant own these assets. Yeah. So right here, right now, we'll be starting to register. Okay, let's load. Wait for a while. Yeah, here, this is the customers that we inserted. Okay. So go back to login. Let's log in. Okay, then click login. Okay, wait it load. Then it will bring you to the dashboard. Alright. So in the product, we'll try to actually track the product, then put in the input, and you will shows the graph which is from the IoT. Alright, you can actually just hover it and it will give you the informations. This is blank because we didn't actually run the IoT, so the table is totally blank. So one is blank and one is got the info. Alright, so this is all the info inside that's listed from the databases. Alright, okay, so we go back to the profile. Okay, then we try to edit profile, direct one. Okay, edit it. Then you will show direct one. Okay, so right now we'll be going back to the product, the customer part. Then it show direct one, right? Okay, so the change password is actually same with the edit profile as well. So right now we'll be trying the QR code scanners. Okay, open up, then you use your QR code, your product QR code, right? Then you open up, then you just scan it. Okay, you just use it, can scan it, then it will open up all the informations. Alright, you have the charts and everything. You will manually input for you. Yeah, automatically input for you. You don't need to input, go to see, check the barcode and everything. You will straight away, you just scan, then everything will be inserted. Alright. So alright, right now I'll be because I forgot to introduce on the Composite Receiver, right? Composite Receiver is actually a part that to communicate with the blockchain, because if you want to insert or update or delete something, right, you need the Composite Receiver to actually do something in the blockchain. Alright, so basically right here is the Composite Receivers, and you need to actually input all the information right here event, and you have the Hyperledger Fabric runs, and you need to start the playground. Then you need to set up the Composite servers, only you can run everything. Right, it'll give you the REST API in the Composite servers, so you need a name, which is the business network admin card's name. So you just enter it, then you have the API key and all the stuff like TLS, you just put it no, and the WebSocket you just open it yes. Alright, the API key is the most important thing, because when you want to access the Hyperledger REST server REST API, alright, you need to give the API key. if you set it no, then there is no API key, right? So you can test it in this interface, right? So try it out. It will say unauthorized because you didn't give the API key, then you cannot access the REST API. Okay, so basically this is good. What is good about in Hyperledger Composer is actually given you everything: the REST servers, the editors, everything is inside it. You just deploy it, you just or you want to download it in with the archive files, right? So everything will be locked inside the console, so it will shows like error or something, right? Something like this, because it will keep on showing error. This is why, because once the users is enters into our website, right, you'll keep on trying to check the product and try to insert a new product into it, whether is the product is it inserted or not, because when from the MongoDB we retrieve, right, and insert into blockchain, right, some of the product is already inserted, so it will block because the ID cannot be duplicated, which is the barcode cannot be duplicated, alright? So this is basically our product, right now. Sign out, then it will take you to the login page. Alright, that's all for my product. So right now I would like to thank you to Miss Nora Yu and Dr. Lim for being so patient to listen what I present, and as well I would like to thank you Miss Nora Yu again, because for guiding me in this whole FYP, and as well which is Dr. Imran. He has actually helped me in this project a lot, teaching me how actually blockchain works and everything, guides me throughout this whole project. Alright, thank you once again. So that's all for my presentations. Thank you.